So last night I was able to completely unmask my AuDHD. When I reflect back on that experience, I can see that there were three things that happened that enabled me to do that. I'm going to talk to you today about my unmasking experience, and I'm hoping it might help you. So I went to a concert last night to see a band called Chasing Abbey. I have been following this band for a while now, and I absolutely love them. They are an Irish band and they sing a lot of their songs in the Irish language. I booked it a few months ago, and when I saw they were coming to Liverpool, I was really excited. So last week, when I was thinking about going to the concert last night, I was actually cold last week, so I thought, oh, why did I book to go to a concert on a cold February night and it's going to be freezing? And there was part of me last week that didn't want to go. I wanted to go, but there was part of me that considered not going. But we went, and I am so glad that we did. When we got there, I wanted to be as comfortable as possible because I wanted to be able to enjoy it. So I got dressed up. I didn't wear a coat because I knew that even though it was cold outside, there wasn't really anywhere to put your coats and to leave stuff. And I didn't want to be holding my coat all night because that would have ruined the experience. So I had jeans and a nice top, but I was really cold at first. When we got in there, so I went with my husband, we got in there to like the bar area, and then I saw, it was around 7 p.m, and I saw that the band Chasing Abbey weren't starting till like 9:15, and they had like supporting acts on first, which were also really good. But at first I was thinking, oh, we've got here so early, and we were waiting in that bar environment, and it was I could feel that I was feeling very autistic. I was feeling like I was watching people to see how they were standing and how they were behaving, because that was obviously my way of trying to feel comfortable. I wasn't sure what to do with my hands. It's a common thing for us with ADHD, autism, AuDHD. And so I stood there kind of like fiddling with my hands, and I don't drink. I've been sober for 6 years. My husband's had a few beers, but like I was thinking to myself in that environment, I was thinking, oh, I wish I still drunk. I wish I still drank alcohol. Like I could have done with a glass of wine or two. I would have been, if I'd have been tipsy, I would have felt so much more comfortable in that environment. And the fact that alcohol crosses my mind in these situations, it doesn't mean that I am going to drink again, because as far as I'm concerned, I don't think I will ever drink alcohol again. But in that moment, it always crosses my mind. And I knew I wasn't going to drink anyway because I was driving home. My husband drove there, I drove back. So yeah, we were waiting for the things to get started. I felt really awkward, and I was thinking, oh, I don't know what to do, because I've been to concerts, a couple of concerts when I was young, like when, we had like seats in the audience, but this wasn't like a sit down concert. It was in a small venue. It was like a stand up, get involved kind of concert. And I was thinking, I'm not drunk. I've got AuDHD. I feel I'm awkward. Am I going to dance? I didn't know what was going to happen. Also, I was just so cold as well at this point, but I knew it was going to get warmer when we were actually listening to the music. So anyway, the band started, and it was amazing. It was, I've got to say, one of the best experiences of my life, because I am so passionate about Irish music. I am of Irish heritage. I was brought up listening to Irish music, but the fact that it was also sung in Irish, I'm also learning to speak the Irish language myself. My great granddad spoke Irish as his first language, so I am doing that to kind of honour my ancestors, and because I love Ireland, it's one of my special interests. I had an amazing time. I danced, I got involved, I completely unmasked, which I didn't realise until I got home. Wow, that is what unmasking is. I did not care what anyone thought of me. I just loved it. I just got so involved and it was such an amazing atmosphere. I noticed when I've been reflecting back on this, there were 3 things that were in place for me to be able to unmask. And by explaining these 3 things to you, I am hoping that it could be something that is helpful for you in the future or going into certain social situations. The first factor I believe needs to be in place is you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone. I was stepping out of my comfort zone in a lot of ways last night. So firstly, I was going to a concert, which I haven't been to a concert for a long time. I don't actually go out that often, to be honest. I was going into a crowded environment, into a place with flashing lights, loud music, and people I didn't know. So for me, that was very overwhelming. And I just need to add, it's obviously part of another video, but this is where we are able to sometimes put ourselves in environments that cause with a lot of sensory input, like loud music, flashing lights. But when we want to be there, we can tolerate it. Whereas when I go to Ulster, I can't cope with that. Anyway, that's going off track. I was willing to step out of my comfort zone. And this leads into point number 2, which is doing something enjoyable. I was there to listen to a band I loved, and the Irish language in the songs, which I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about Ireland. I have been for my whole life. It's in my blood. I just love it so much. I love Irish music. And when I was in that environment, so I believe you have to have something that you are enjoying to be able to unmask properly, for you to be able to really get into it. And the third factor is having a supportive or like-minded environment. When we got in there, I was thinking about who might be coming here. What was amazing was it was a wide range of different age ranges. So probably from 18 to even 70s. There was a really good mix of different ages in there, which I thought was brilliant. But one thing I was thinking about, people who are passionate about the Irish language, and I can't obviously speak for everyone, but I've noticed a general theme. Again, I don't want to speak for every single person, but a lot of people who are passionate about the Irish language are people who stand up for what's right. They stand up for justice. They stand up for what's fair. So when I was thinking about that when we first got there in the bar area, I was thinking a lot of these people, I kind of assumed, and yeah, you shouldn't assume, but I assumed a lot of these people are going to think along the lines that I think. They're going to care about the world. They're going to stand up for what's right and have a really strong sense of justice, which we do as neurodivergent people anyway. That made me feel comfortable. And again, there might have been people in the room that were completely the opposite to that. I don't know, but I got the impression that, and a lot of this was just from my own way of thinking, and based on things I've spoken to other people about and know about people who are passionate about their traditional language of their country and the Irish language. They are standing up for what they believe in. And that also includes standing up for others. So I believe there has to be a supportive or like-minded environment. In a lot of ways, we were like-minded. We were all there to see a band that we loved. We were all obviously loved Ireland or the Irish language or were of Irish heritage. We were all there to enjoy the music. And that made it so, I think those 3 factors made it easy for me to unmask completely. Another thing I'd just like to add is I am now wondering whether I ever need to unmask from my ADHD and whether it's just the autism I unmask from. Because I can also see that when I first arrived at the O2 Academy, which is where it was, I was very much in like an autistic mode. I was seeing what other people were doing so I could like work out what to do, and I felt very awkward. I felt very shy, and once I got involved, once that music kicked in and I was in the crowd, I was like, I just didn't care. I was like ADHD mode completely. I was dancing, I was having fun, I was singing. I didn't care what anyone thought of me. And it made me think, do I need to unmask from ADHD, or is the ADHD to me anyway feels more extroverted? And I wonder whether it's just the autism I unmask from. It might be different for you, I don't know. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. That was just my reflection of last night and unmasking, and I hope it's been helpful for you. I hope those 3 factors might help you in the future to wonder whether you're going to be able to unmask in a situation. I am still learning about unmasking. Sometimes I'm not sure how I mask, but I feel like because of last night, I have realised a lot of how I mask, which has been really helpful for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found value in this video. If you have, please like and subscribe and check out my other videos. Bye.